Hello and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast, and I'm from an undisclosed location somewhere between the border of Russia and the US. Hi Keith, how are we doing?
You're on secret trade negotiations, right?
I'm on secret trade
I'm good.
negotiations, trying to sort this tariff nonsense out.
Um,
Someone thought it was a good idea. Oh, that's all I can say.
I'm not going there. I'm good. So yeah, all good in the hood. I didn't watch a lot this week. I have to admit. No, there wasn't a lot on, to be honest.
No, a lot of TV shows ended, which wasn't good.
And not much new. So yeah, and I think I worked out. I think I'm going to be in the cinema every weekend in June because there's something I want to see.
Yeah.
But we've got to wait till June for that. And at the moment, there's nothing now on TV either. So yeah, and Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, that's not out for a while. And don't look great. Don't look great.
No, well, for this week, because we've gone away from John McTiernan films, we've gone to Star Trek two-parters.
Mm-hmm.
So our first one we're going to be talking about is Encounter at Farpoint, which I could barely fucking remember. I'm going to be honest with you. I remember DeForest Kelly in it. I remember Q in it. I remember Jasper, fucking Data. Why is he Jasper? He's Jasper all of a sudden. Data trying to whistle, and fucking Will Wheaton.
Yeah, shut up, Wesley.
Off Wesley. I mean, shut up, Wesley.
We'll talk about it. Look, I mean, I watched it on Netflix in that beautiful wrist store. But do you want to feel old? You know how old that episode is?
87.
Yeah, it's 38 years old, Gareth.
Fucking hell. Probably would have dated it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we'll get to it. Shall we do the news?
Let's do the news. Let's actually I'm gonna do this one because I like this one.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
Okay. Oh shit! I've gone right past my notes. Oh dear. This is the problem when I'm only on one screen. Here we go. Val Kilmer, the esteemed actor, renowned for his roles such as Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever, has passed away on April 1st, 2025, at the age of 65 due to pneumonia. His daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, confirmed his death. Early career, he went to Juilliard, which is the American version of RADA. I don't know if you all know that. And then he did comedies like Top Secret, Real Genius, etc. One of his most notable roles is in Top Gun, when they did the Top Gun Maverick or whatever it was. They gave him a nice little kind of cameo in that. And he also did Oliver Stone's The Doors film too.
Don't forget Batman.
He did Batman. The problem with Batman is that he loved the role. He hated working with Joel Schumacher. And Jim Carrey. He hated working with them. But Joel Schumacher's response was, even though we didn't get on, still did a bloody good job, which is that's a good sign for that. So it's one of those actors we grew up with. I think is probably the best way of describing it.
Yeah. Top Gun was probably his most memorable role from my, and I remember him from Batman. Then he played the Saint, didn't he, at one point?
Yes, he played the Saint when they did the film version of the Saint.
Simon Templar, didn't it?
Which was originally played by Roger Moore.
Such a cool name. That was quite a good movie, if I remember. Because he'd already sort of his voice box was screwed by and he was not well when he was in Top Gun Maverick. So I mean, I think Top Gun Maverick is probably a really good sort of tribute to him. I think that was his last screen work. He dies in the movie, but what a way to go out. Probably one of his most iconic roles. And yeah, I just thought we should give him a bit of a nod and a rest in peace. I never really like doing these death stories, but it's one of those big ones that you can't really ignore. I mean, Richard Chamberlain also died this week, but a lot of people might not know who he was. But you'd know his face. He was in the original Shogun, but I didn't include that because he wasn't such a pop culture icon like Val was. But Richard Chamberlain also died this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, lost a couple of legends in their own right. Put it that way. Yeah. Shogun, original. Yeah. So, rest in peace.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to our next one then.
Well.
The BBC has officially confirmed the renewal of its acclaimed surveillance thriller, The Capture, for a third season. Filming is currently underway in the south of England. And because it's underway, I've had to go into hiding so I don't get captured. You watched this show.
Yeah,
I watched the first episode. I couldn't quite get into it, I'll be honest with you.
You should give it another go because season 2 was even better. And season 2 has Black Snape. He's quite good in it actually. And again, it shows he is a good actor, just not Severus Snape. Season 2 kind of ended in a way that I didn't. This was a surprise because season 2 kind of ended. Where I thought, okay, that's a kind of good line in the sand. So I don't know what they're going to do with season 3, but it has a few it had Ron Perlman in it, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It was quite good. You should see it past the first episode. It was quite a clever idea, and it kind of worked.
Yeah.
But season 2 left off in a way that it's going to have to be a slightly different story. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, what I've got here from my notes says, set approximately a year after the events of season 2, DCI Rachel Carey has been promoted, is now leading the Operation Veritas, aiming to restore public confidence in surveillance technology. And the narrative intensifies when a coordinated terrorist attack targets British establishments, leaving a single witness. This development plunges Kerry into a complex web of conspiracy and violence. So there's the blurb for it. Yeah, so it's. I might give it a go.
It was quite good. And as I say, Ron Perlman was in it. And a few other sort of famous people. I was surprised by this, and as I said, Nigel and I really enjoyed this. So it was quite a surprise when I saw the news on this week. The other thing is, which I didn't include, because again, it's not really what we usually talk about, but Line of Duty is definitely coming back for a season 7.
Okay.
So that's beginning filming next year. But this was a surprise. So yeah, you should watch it. It's good. You need to give it the 4-episode rule.
Okay, that's true. I couldn't get past episode 1 though. I kind of watched it. I was like, no, really.
Carry on.
Was, yeah. I'll have to give it a go. No, I'll give it another go. All right. Shall we move on to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Now we are fucked.
Amazon MGM Studios is actively developing the next installment in James Bond franchise, aiming to introduce a fresh, exotic direction for the iconic spy series. The project is in current early stages in London, with producers Amy Pascal and David Heyman overseeing its development. This initiative follows Amazon's acquisition of MGM Studios, granting it the creative control over James Bond franchise. Longtime producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson have stepped back from their roles, but remain co-owners of the series. While specific details regarding the plot, cast, release timeline are yet to be announced, the studio intends to revitalize the series with a novel approach and has generated considerable anticipation amongst fans and and industry observers. They're searching for a new actor to portray James Bond. The search for the new actor to portray James Bond is ongoing, with the studio emphasizing the importance of selecting a British actor for the role. As development progresses further, announcements are expected to provide more insights into the future of the James Bond franchise under Amazon MGM Studios stewardship. Danny DeVito. My money's on Danny DeVito.
Not English.
Oh God! Not English. You can have anyone from this area. That includes Ireland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that, Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. Otherwise, you disclude Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan's fine.
I mean, obviously there's Superman. What's his face?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, I think could be an absolutely brilliant Bond. But if they want, they might go for somebody slightly younger.
James Bond is in his 40s.
Yes, I think so. But they might go for somebody younger. So I honestly, I mean, it depends what you want to do with it. All right, you could go with somebody slightly younger. The things you've got to keep are the gadgets, the fast cars, and you have got to have exotic locations. You have to have some rather lovely ladies, but they can be kick-ass. Mm-hmm. You know, you've got to have that, but you don't have to have necessarily. And maybe you do kind of explain it a bit, so like, you know, these people will call it, oh, you know, Bond just shags everything he sees. If there's some on-screen reason, you know, like you said, that he expects to die and that's why he never forms any lasting things. If you do it in such a way that Reach has done it, and no one's bitching and moaning about Reacher, then it works on screen and you can get away with it. And I think that's what they should do. Honestly, there's a lot of actors. I mean, I still think Tom Hardy could be interesting as Bond, but thing is, he's a little bit, as they put it about Idris Elba, he's a little bit street. I mean, I watched the first episode of Mobland, funny enough, with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren in it, and that's fucking brutal, but quite good. Or at least the first episode is. It's Guy Ritchie, and there are moments when it is pure Guy Ritchie, and there are other moments when it's actually fucking brutal. But I enjoyed the first episode. Who could play Bond? Look, I mean, half of me thinks they're going to cast a black actor, and I don't think that's necessary. I think you see, the thing is, right, Colin Salmon would have been a great Bond.
Back in the mid-90s, if you wanted a black James Bond, he had the voice, he carried himself a certain way, came across as kind of sophisticated and regal and all that stuff. And yeah, you're right. I think if you said Gareth, you have to, and I go, all right, fair enough, I would have picked him from then.
But you see, the guy that's, funny enough, right, the guy that's playing Snape, when he is on screen he's played an MP, funny enough, in that the Capture that we were talking about before. Mm-hmm. He's definitely got that sort of suave accent that could work. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of actors that could do it. I don't think he has to be conventionally handsome anymore either. I just think he has to have confidence. And I mean, I still think Henry Cavill could do it, because Henry Cavill is you know, he can do the whole thing. And if I was, and he is the one that everybody asked for at Amazon. They all said Henry Cavill. And that could work. And you know who, I would have, trouble is he's going to be, he's doing a Jack Ryan film. John Krasinski could play quite an interesting Felix, but he's already playing Jack Ryan, so you can't have him as both. But it depends what they do with this. The person that Barbie Broccoli was calling a fucking idiot was Jenny. What's her face? Saki, and she's gone. So, and apparently it was a lot to do with this. So I think Bezos, rumors are he wants to get this right. Okay. Amy Pascal is a bit hit and miss. But, David Hayward, he did the Harry Potter movies, and I know you and our opinion slightly differs on them, but actually, when you look at them, they're competently made, decent films, really. We can have slightly differing opinions on certain things, but for the most part, they're competently done. And the casting for the Potter films was really good. Shame about the TV series, but the casting for the films was really good. So, whilst I'm slightly concerned about Amy Pascal, I'm less concerned about David Hayward. We've said this before, and we say this every time we talk about Bond. Just fucking give it to Nolan. Cast, and he'll make the most amazing Bond film. He could launch a new series of Bond films. He'd probably only do one, but one's enough.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to someone at work about that, and he went, "Oh, I'd only want it if they do 3 of them. Give me the 3. I just want the 3 for the James Bond film."
He might do 3, but I know he likes. He wants to make another Oscars movie, but maybe his next film will be Bond. I still want him to do that Dracula that we were talking about. I still wish it had been Dracula. I
heard someone refer to Chris Nolan as one of those classic directors, along with Quentin Tarantino, and I'm like, oh no, it doesn't work like that. They're still working, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah,
but Tarantino's still threatening to make another film.
He says he's got one in him. He's got one more in him, and that's it. He's going to give up after that, but he's going to go out on a big high.
Tarantino is a damn interesting director. He is different to Nolan. I suppose we gravitate towards Nolan because of his sci-fi sort of side, although he hasn't done a decent sci-fi for a while. Personally, I want to, if he's not making the next Bond film, I want him to make another decent sci-fi. It's about time he got his sort of, hands back into that. But going back to Bond, I'm just trying to think of who's Jonathan Bailey? Is Biffers too? Who is that?
Jonathan Bailey. If someone's going to have to look, Keith, it's going to be you, because I'm doing it. I've got one screen. On it. I'm doing this on a potato.
Oh, it's the guy. Well,
share the screen.
Okay, you probably don't know who he is, right? Because, you've never been forced to watch Bridgerton, right? He's like the head Britishan. Actually, Biffer, I'll give you that.
Share.
Hang on. I've got to fuck. You always do this.
I know I always do this. That's why everything's not at the moment. Everything's all like weird and the wrong shape for podcasting. It doesn't matter for the listeners.
It might not actually let me do this, but we'll try. Let's see. Is that working?
There you go. I can see it. There it is.
It's this chap. Now, yeah. Having seen him in Bridgerton, I can no, he could work. He could definitely work as a Bond. Okay. There's no two ways about that. Yeah, I agree. He could definitely work as a Bond. I'll give you that, Biffer. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, he could. Gareth.
Yeah.
I think I removed you instead of removing my share screen.
Fucking Muppet. Anyway.
But yeah. It's a good call, actually. Although I think I don't know if he will. It depends, but it is a good call. I still want Henry
Let's-
Cavill.
Well, Henry Cavill. What was the other one we said? Tom Hiddleston was one on our list, wasn't it?
Only because of the Night Manager, but he's back making more Night Manager, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Because Tom Hiddleston in the original Night Manager was fucking awesome, and yeah, he could have done a Bond.
Yeah, and I think he did that. I think he did that as like an audition for James Bond when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
So you got Tom Hiddleston, you got Dan Stevens, who was in Legion.
See, now, what did I recently see him in? Oh, he was in... He played kind of like a conspiracy theorist character in that 0 Hour on Netflix. The thing is, since Downton Abbey, he lost quite a lot of weight, and sometimes I'm not. He looks almost a bit too stick thin to be like. He'd have to beef up. He'd have to beef up a bit, but you know, he's definitely got the sort of suaveness about him. I mean, fuck what that guy said. Idris Elba. I'd see Idris Elba as Bond. I don't care. I would.
No.
I know what some people are saying, but you know, it's Idris Elba, isn't it?
Is it Richard Madden from Game of Thrones I'm thinking of, or is it the other one?
It is Richard Madden, who was in the Eternals. It was awful in the Eternals, and he played the bodyguard. Yes, Richard Madden could play Bond.
Yeah, just going through a few ones that I could, and then there's the other one that comes up but we don't support is Aaron Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass.
It's not you don't. I quite liked him in Bullet Train, but he was a bit. In fact, I really liked his character in Bullet Train, and I've seen him in a couple of other things and quite liked him. I know in real life he's meant to be a bit of a male feminist and all this other crap, but actually, I mean, he was really good in the Bullet Train. I mean, his character was an interesting character, but I'm just not convinced that he is. I'm not convinced about him as Bond, but I do like him as an. I like the parts that I've seen him in. Put it that way.
Yeah. It's funny because I've got one person popped up in my list here, and I like him as an actor, but the problem is that he's in Slow Horses, and if Jack Lowden were to play James Bond, you just think he's a fuck up like in Slow Horses.
Is that the guy? River. Yeah, you see, but I don't know if I want another blonde Bond. It's too much of a reminder of Daniel Craig. And the thing is, as much as I like Casino Royale and Skyfall, they are slightly tainted now by bloody Daniel Craig because he's just can't keep his fucking mouth shut. You're living in a very nice house with a lot of nice cars and things. That's mostly off the money that you made from Bond. Be a little more grateful, Daniel. Just be a tad more grateful. Yeah. Anyway. My vote is still for Henry Cavill, although I kind of like Biffers. I think he could be quite a good Bond. But Henry Cavill would be, for me, the Bond that I would really want to see. But I don't know if it'll happen. But given a choice between him as Bond or Nolan as a director, I'd take Nolan as a director and let Nolan cast whoever he fucking wants.
Yeah, true.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next one.
Put a ticket in and make a name again!
Sorry. At CinemaCon, Sony Pictures officially announced the fourth installment of Marvel's Cinematic Universe Spider-Man series, titled Spider-Man Brand New Day, scheduled for release July 31st, 2026. Tom Holland will be reprising his role as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, with Destin Daniel Cretton, known for directing Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, set to direct. The film's title, Brand New Day, is a reference to 2008's comic book storyline where Peter Parker's life undergoes significant changes after a reality-altering event. This suggests the movie may explore more themes of new beginnings and altered realities. Holland, unable to attend CinemaCon in person due to filming commitments for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, addressed attendees via pre-recorded video. He expressed excitement about the upcoming project, describing it as a fresh start for the character. Production is slated to commence the summer of 2025 in London, whilst specific plot details remain under wraps. The film is expected to delve into Peter Parker journeying into journeys following the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, potentially exploring the consequences of his altered reality. Fans anticipate further updates on casts, plot developments, and production as production progresses. Oh, fuck that. What a stupid sentence. Why did I write that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen like the online reaction to this, especially from the fandom message, has been pretty negative. And it's like, and I listened to Gary's reaction to this the other day, and it's like, yeah, okay, this you know, the title is based on a quite sort of polarizing comic, right? Now, a couple of things here. Gary said it sold less. A lot of Spider-Man fans didn't like it, right? But actually, when you look at the 2008, you know, something had to change because Spider-Man had been getting a bit stagnant. And who did they bring in to do this? JMS. Yeah. JMS is responsible. But the thing is, Gary, it's like, and I'm saying this, right? He's going, oh, you know, they're going to do brand new. They've already done it. They did it at the end of Spider-Man 3. Like the event, Doctor Strange makes everybody forget Peter Parker has already happened. So, you know, it was kind of like, it wasn't that much of a like a surprise to see the title Brand New Day. When I saw that, I went, yeah, makes sense. I actually have the whole comic run. I've got all of them from JMS, and he does reset some stuff and then comes back again. The rumor is now that, you know, because we thought that the lass from Stranger Things was playing Mary Jane Watson. I don't think she is, because apparently Zendaya is going to be in this. But I'm it's like they've already done it. So why are you sort of go, oh, this is going to be shit? They've already done it. You weren't saying that at the end of Spider-Man 3. That was the event that created Brand New Day, right? So we know that the next Spider-Man film he's going to be on his own, but but the way that the movie ended off was actually quite promising. He was going to be back at street level, no fucking Iron Man spider suit, suits that he made himself, back to him like relying on his own abilities and stuff. And that's the Spider-Man film I want to see. So yes, it's nicked the name from the title, and as a comic book shop owner, you know, I can understand why he is a bit negative towards this, but I don't think it's going to go the way that they, you know, like the comic books did. I think actually by the end of it, it'll probably be back with Mary Jane, and the lass from Stranger Things is playing one of those Spider-Man sort of, what's the red-headed character from Spider-Man that was sort of a bit like Felicia, but a bit more bad. Can't remember her name.
Like Felicia Harding, but not like Felicia Harding.
Well, no, she wasn't 100% like, she wasn't like, you know, really bad all the time. But I think that's who she's playing. I don't know who
she's
the
like
main...
Felicia Harding, I think.
Potentially.
Yeah, because that would make sense. But I want them to do it's Spider-Man, because remember, Spider-Man isn't like street level like Daredevil is. He's like city saving Spider-Man.
Yes.
He saves the city. Yeah, he's not like sorts out shit in Hell's Kitchen and beats people up. He's a bit more than that.
When I say that, I mean it's a bit more grounded. It's not going to be him being an Avenger all the time. Although the rumor is he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Depending on who you listen to, but this comes out after Doomsday, so but I mean, it's just like everybody's reacted to this title. It's like, well, of course they're going to call it that, because look at what happened at the end of the third one. And I don't quite get the surprise from the Phantom Menace on this one, because if you know anything about the Spider-Man comics, this is what they were going to call it.
I'll be honest with you. I think I just prefer just a straightforward Spider-Man adventure.
Yeah, I think that's what we're getting.
Are we? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I don't want because this is the problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They went from after what was it, Infinity War, or sorry, Endgame, everything had to be end of everything, yeah? Like kind of Doctor Strange, and not end of the universe, end of all the universes, yeah? Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi should have just been him at the end fighting 100 men and then fighting his dad, yeah? Just fucking brutal. You could have done it like that. You didn't need no stupid CGI dragons or nonsense like that. And then you had it's loads of like Ant-Man, all this other crap. Yeah, just want a simple saves the city. Yeah, that's it. Saves the city. Maybe we have I don't know, Scorpion. They set Scorpion up. Michael Mando. Is it Michael Mando, the guy who's from Breaking Bad and Far Cry 3 as a Scorpion, as Matt Gargan? That would do. Like, what do you call it? Homecoming. Though I didn't like the Spider-Man setup, but they've got the correct Spider-Man setup now. Something along those lines, sort of thing, rather than I don't want a big world-ending event. I want something that is him stopping the bad guys. Bit of character growth and whatnot there.
I think it's going to be city level from a lot of the things, and I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be some kind of like super bad sort of like level thing. I think it's going to be city level, and I think we are having a bit of a reset of Spider-Man, and I'm looking forward to that. I think this is the one Marvel film, until I hear anything else, I'm going to remain positive about, because I'm a fucking huge Spider-Man fan, like you. I mean, we're both. That's one thing we both agree on. We love Spider-Man. It's my favorite, certainly my favorite of the Marvel. Probably my overall favorite hero. And I have a lot of Spider-Man comics, like a fucking shit ton of them, including the entire JMS run, all 6 volumes of it. And it was nowhere near as bad as when they bloody put Doc Ock in the body of Peter Parker. So I don't know what everybody's bitching about, to be honest. Yeah, okay, they upset Mary Jane and blah blah. But you've been with Mary Jane for years. It was about. It's comic books. It doesn't always stick that way. But anyway, I'm a Brand New Day. The title didn't surprise me in the slightest. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves.
I think they should introduce the Hobgoblin, not the Green Goblin, the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and the worst thing is, you know the Hobgoblin's name, don't you?
Fuck yes, but go on, remind me.
It's Ned.
Yes.
It's Ned, his man in the chair, Ned.
Yeah.
Is the first Hobgoblin, because there's more than one. It's funny, because he's a fashion designer that finds all the shit and then sorts it all out and then becomes a merc.
That could make sense. Ned could, because, again, they kind of set Ned up, as being worried. They kept hinting, Ned kept hinting as becoming, although he's kind of got magic. But, I mean, Ned as a goblin, and Peter's got, and at the end it ends with him realizing who, remembering Peter and remembering that life, and Peter being in his life is the difference between him not being bad and being bad. That could be quite a good story. It could be more grounded at city level. I mean, that could actually be quite good. Let's see what they do. I don't think they're going to put any of the other Spider-Men in this. I think they're going to be in Doomsday. I mean, I reckon we're going to get one of or both of them in Doomsday, which would be cool. Garfield or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
As I said, what they should have done is you should have crossed over Garfield with Venom. Yeah.
And apparently they were very close. Tom Hardy came out this week saying they were really close to doing a crossover with Holland.
That way,
it all fell through.
That way, Garfield would have got his third film finally, and he could have been an older Spider-Man versus Venom and whatnot.
A lot of people think it's Garfield that's going to be in Doomsday. I think it might be Maguire. I still love them both in Spider-Man 3. Although Garfield's come out and said, "Yeah, I'm not in it." It's like, he said that last time, Andrew. So it's like, don't trust a fucking word he says. But I'll be up for that. I want to say something to be a stupid gamer, but then I'll say something off.
Well, wait until we get to the comments section, and then you can. Yeah. All right. So let's go on to our next.
Yeah.
I need about 350.
350.
At CinemaCon 2025, Sony Pictures announced that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is scheduled for a theatrical release on June 4th, 2054. This feels it feels like 2027. Feels like 2054. My kid's grown up now. He doesn't give a shit about it anymore. This film serves as the third and final installment in the animated Spider-Verse trilogy, following Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, how? What? Just,
I mean, I was going to say, what the fuck, right? You basically said this film would be out a year after the last one, right? We basically got half a movie. And you ended it like that, and we're going to have to wait, like, how many years? 5?
5, no,
6
4
years?
years. 4 years from when it went. And it's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, yeah? I know I like Miles Morales, but he ain't Spider-Man, yeah? All right? So just put that out there before we go any further. I don't fucking know. I really don't fucking know.
This was meant to be out last year, right? And then it was going to be out this year, and now they're saying 2027. I mean, seriously, what the fuck, right? I really like both of these, but the second one was half a movie, right? And you 4 years? What the fuck are you doing, Sony? I mean, talk about pissing away at, I mean, the first 2 movies made money, right? But you needed to follow up with an ending like that. You needed to follow up pretty quickly. It's the same with the fucking Fast and the Furious, with the way that ended.
It's what you call it, because part of it is it's focused at kids, yeah? You can't wait that long when you focus a thing at kids. You've got to literally turn it around within the space of a year, maybe a year and a half. You cannot wait to like 4 to 5 years to put out another thing here. And they'll probably get delayed again. The problem is I don't care about it. It's been that long. I've stopped caring about it, and it's annoying because it was good. I wish they would have called it. I wish they would have just focused on Gwen Stacy. Yeah, because you could have had Miles Morales for the first one, Gwen Stacy, and then go back to Miles Morales. Yeah, because it felt like it was going to be a Gwen Stacy film, which is fine. Do that, but don't sit there and wrap it up as one thing when it's not. And the funny thing is, hang on a second. The funny thing is the Spot character in there is more comparable to Invincible's Angstrom Levy character now, and it's funny because no one knew about that character. Now people know about that character, so it's kind of detracted from the whole Spot character. It's not as novel or original as it was.
They've waited too long, and it's a shame. I think the film was half focused on Spider-Gwen, and actually Spider-Gwen is quite a likable character in this. It's just way too long. Way too long. Fucking sort it out. What the fuck, 2027? I mean, how long are we going to have to wait for that next bloody Fast and the Furious film? Because that should have been out by now. What is it with ending these films on these kind of freaking cliffhangers and then waiting 4 years? It's the same with these fucking streaming shows. It's why I like the dude that's doing Paradise, because he's like, next year, coming back next year, season 2, next year. You're not going to have to wait long. It's not like any other fucking streaming show. We'll have it done.
No, because matey's from a fucking network television background. And that's what you do in network television, because you don't get it done in a certain time. You don't get the sponsors. You don't get the money. If you don't get the money, you don't get your show. You get cancelled. And that's because he's from that background there. And this is the thing it's weird because they've taken the streaming model of, we just do it when we fucking feel like it.
The streaming model is shit, right? I mean, I don't even understand the streaming model. Why it takes 2 years? Why? I mean, they don't even start writing a season 2 until it's aired. That's dumb. You do the writing, you do the prep work. So when if it does go down well, because you think it is going to go down well, and then you look at Star Trek, right? Strange New Worlds got renewed before season 2 even went out, and we're still waiting till the end of the fucking year, which is a 2-year gap, to get season 3. It's been renewed. I mean, is it just everybody's too fucking busy smoking ganja and coming up with...
Do you want to hear something funny? Stargate Atlantis got cancelled in season 5, yeah? I watched a video where they went through all the treatments that they had for season 6, because they'd already prepared for season 6. They'd already had about 16 treatments all ready to go, so they could hand them to the writers and go, start writing episodes for me. Here's what you need to do. There's your instructions. Goodbye. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time. We'll sit down and go through it.
They've all become lazy fucks on Hollywood, and they're too busy being activists to actually do their fucking jobs.
I think that one of the reasons that network television network television. Yeah, network television's kind of gone to the wayside, and streaming's kind of taken over. Is the fact that network television's a hell of a lot fucking more demanding. It really is. And
it needs to be, because I mean, these people don't know they've been fucking born now.
So I'm going to address the entire country of the United States. Yeah, you used to do television really well. You used to be the model for everyone doing television around the world. Everyone looked to you. This is how you do television. And now they don't, because it's shit. We look towards Korea. I've watched fucking German sci-fi, for fuck's sake. I'm going to be German comedy next week. Yeah, I'll be watching a funny fucking German comedy. But besides that,
there's some truth in it.
Yeah, there is some truth in it. Hold on a second. I wonder why I've put that on, Keith.
I have no idea. Oh! Hello.
Sydney Sweeney is reportedly in final negotiations in legendary live-action adaptation of the iconic Japanese sci-fi franchise Gundam.
Here,
while specific details about her role remain undisclosed.
Yeah, money. Just take my money.
Speculation suggests that she might portray Sailor Mass, a central character in the original series. The film will be directed by Jim Mickle, known for his work on Sweet Tooth, who takes over from the previously attached Jordan Voight Roberts. Brian K. Vaughan is initially set to write the screenplay, has also stepped aside. Oh, it's in production.
Is he going to sing the theme tune?
He'll probably sing the theme tune, write the theme tune. Gundam, which debuted in 1979, renowned for its realistic depictions of war and complex human drama, featuring giant robots known as mobile suits. The upcoming adaptation aims to bring the beloved universe to a global audience. As the project progresses, further announcements will be. Fuck it. Anyway, Sydney Sweeney.
You didn't need to say ginormous Japanese robots fighting the shit out of each other. Sydney Sweeney.
She's going to be in one of those really tight kind of uniforms.
Of course she is. Of course she is. And I'm not going to care. I'm just going to be throwing my money. I'll probably go and see it 6 times. Fucking, it's gold minted $1 billion movie.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I would move away from the American people and have the Koreans make it, because I reckon the Koreans could do a better job than that. The Japanese would probably whinge at the fact that I've said the Koreans. It's like saying British asking the French to make James Bond. That would be interesting. Le James Bond.
Monsieur Bond, I've been expecting you.
But given the way that Americans can't make anything for an audience when it comes to filmmaking, and the Koreans are much better. Then again, if it's work with my Korean production company with Japanese creatives, might work better. Actually, now think about it.
I think this will probably have some Japanese people on it. But look, I mean, their casting's weird. I like Sydney Sweeney, and not just because of her assets, I actually like her attitude. You know, the people that have a go at her when she gets her boobs out in a video, she just tells them to fuck off. If she wants to, then she's going to do it, and she's going to carry on doing it in movies. I love her attitude. I love her. She has this attitude that she doesn't agree with what Hollywood. She doesn't open her mouth a lot, but she stands up for herself, and I like that. And she doesn't seem to be in that echo chamber. I mean, if you look at her Instagram, she's always on holiday, but who cares?
She can afford to be on holiday, can't she? Please, Miss Sweeney, bring your boobs to our resorts. Take pictures on Instagram. Thank you very much.
I mean, look, they can fuck this movie up, but I don't. I've got a sneaking suspicion they won't. So, but yeah, fuck it. Take my money. Take my money.
Take your money.
I'm there for a Gundam movie, unless it's, unless it is who Biffa says who's directing it. Then no, no.
Okay.
But I don't think it will. He's not working in Hollywood at the moment. Had you not noticed? His last very expensive Apple TV series was a. So he's no longer in Hollywood. He's kind of like persona non grata.
Yeah.
So
let's go to comments and then trailers.
Okay. Awesome.
So let's start off with Biffa. First in, gold medal for Biffa. He survived the Minecraft movie. Right. I watched a very interesting video from Midnight's Edge in regards to the Minecraft movie, and it said the following. It said, doesn't matter if it's crap. It was aimed at kids. It gave the kids what they wanted to see in a film, and that might be a good thing going forward.
The kids seem to love it.
Yeah.
I've got a kid student that's heavily into Minecraft. Loved the movie. Right. He went with his Minecraft T-shirt, and all he was talking about was Jack Black's character. A lot of people are saying it was too much Jack Black. That's what it's meant to be. It's not. I've said again, like. You've got and this is why I sometimes fall out with the fandom. They're all going, "Oh, it's a disaster! It's a disaster." No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's 135 million this weekend.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, and it's Easter holidays, and there's going to be more and more kids going to see this because there's more kids into Minecraft. It's not a disaster. The video in the nicest possible way. This movie really is not for you. Right, it is for all these kids that around the world that are into Minecraft, that are still into Minecraft, and they seem to love it.
It's an easy way.
It's harmless. It's not.
So it's an easy way of understanding it. It's simple. It goes, know when you were younger and you liked Jack Black, and now you've grown up, you don't like him. It's for those people who still like him.
I still love him in School. I know. I still like him in School of Rock. I still love School of Rock. Even all these years later, I still love that movie.
Best thing.
Well, okay, Tropic Thunder was probably one of his most iconic roles. But I'm getting a bit fed up with people fucking loading on this film. It's a kids' movie. For fuck's sake.
Oh no,
it's
and
not going to have the greatest acting. Yeah.
Keith, it can be terrible but still popular, and I will point at Avatar. Yeah, I think those films are terrible, but people love them. I really do. They have no cultural footprint. They have no real cultural footprint anywhere, but people still went and watched them.
I think, yeah, it's a harmless movie. It's not like it's promoting anything to kids.
Yeah.
Other than bad acting, and Jack Black, which again, really,
yeah.
At least he's not in Star Wars ruining that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the next one, past tense DS9. Oh, we got to get through the next generation first, and then move on to Deep Space Nine. Way of the Warrior. That's the one. Deep Space Nine. I'm looking forward to. That's the one I think I've enjoyed the most.
Past tense is good. Way of the Warrior is good. In fact, most of the two-parters are fucking good.
In DS9, yeah.
Yeah.
Scorpions. We've got to look forward to. Best of Both Worlds.
That's next.
Best of Both Worlds is next.
Yep.
There are no other two-parters until we get to Best of Both Worlds.
Yep.
Seriously, that's the end of season 3, isn't it?
Yep. There was no more
Fucking
two-parters until
hell.
season 3.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll be your Huckleberry. Okay, I'm assuming that's a reference to Val Kilmer there.
Yeah.
And then Shogun, which was the
Yeah.
other actor that died. And there's Chuck. Hi, Chuck. I'm
Chuck.
waving to you. I want Jonathan Bailey to play the next
Yeah,
James Bond. That's a go. Yeah, we looked at that one. And that's Keith. Hi, Laurie. Wave.
Hi, Laurie.
every time Laurie says hello, I'm going to make sure you wave to the camera. I watched the Tron trailer last night. I have the OG poster from my childhood somewhere, unless my mum threw it out. Yeah. I haven't seen it. It's literally, and after we do the comments, that's the next thing we're going to look at is the Tron trailer.
I've seen the trailer.
I have not seen the trailer.
Dude, there is a moment in this trailer that did make me go, oh. Anyway, carry on.
Gareth,
You'll know what it is.
I think we found another brother of yours in a recent vlog. We went to the ice bar. Bartender reminded us of you. You have to check it out. I did start watching it, but I got distracted. I will get back there. Your thingy. Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was good. It was good to watch. Don't think I ever had any complaints about him. I'll be frank with you. So yeah. I'm not complaining, far from that. But why doesn't Gareth have a camera? Because I'm between the border of the United States and Russia at this point in time. So, okay. And yes,
I'm not allowed to disclose where he is, but it has a lot to do with sheep. Sorry.
Anyway. What's love? Oh, it's Sydney Sweeney. Not enough time to get my pants down. I'll have to send you that video. And then we got Biffa. God, no, Taika Waititi. I've had enough of him. Really had enough of him. He's one of those people who should have just fucking just got on with it. His head inflated a lot faster than people could cope with. The only person, Peter Jackson or Guillermo del Toro or Neil Blomkamp. He does good robots.
Quite a few Japanese directors that could probably do
Godzilla minus one.
Yeah, well, that was exactly what I was thinking. Although he's doing another Godzilla movie. But that's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, no, Peter Jackson, but he's not really directing anymore, is he? So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they would make good Gundam movies, but yeah, it is what it is.
Neil Blomkamp, I would go for. But then again, he's doing Starship Troopers, which is very Gundam-esque before Gundam was, given the power mechs and whatnot. I despise Jack Black. We'll not be watching anything with Jack Black. I agree.
Look, he's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't despise him quite like that, but I understand why people do. I still love School of Rock as a movie, but I understand why people don't. So yeah, no, respect that. A lot of people say the same about Jim Carrey, so yeah.
I love watching retro movies in the cinema. Last one I watched was Starship Troopers, and I didn't realize how retro a movie that was until someone said it's 25 years old. And I can remember going to the cinema with my friend Malcolm and saying to Malcolm, "We won't touch the food until the killing starts." And he went, "Yes." And then it starts with the failed landing on Kendethi where everyone fucking dies. Yes, woman, you had inside knowledge. You shouldn't be there. So yeah.
Gareth's sleeping in the spare room tonight.
Tron trailer looks promising, but Disney ruined my hopes before. I liked the 2009 Tron. It did suffer from what Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker's first season suffered from, where it felt like no one lived there.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. But I did like it. I like the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack that's the bit that's pissed me off the most, is that Daft Punk aren't doing the soundtrack.
No, but you should just watch the trailer. I'll see what you think afterwards. So we'll see how.
That's your fault, Keith.
I know.
I fucking blame you for that.
I know. I told you. I was having an hour wanted to say anything, and I thought, fuck it, I'll feed it. Oh, feed.
Okay, right then. Just everyone saying, okay, let's go away from the comments now and let's look at Tron Legacy. So let me go here. Okay.
Let me see if you think you know the moment that I just went like that.
Okay, all right. Tell me if you got. Tell me. Just give me a yes. Got sound.
Yeah.
Speeds of 120 miles per hour. Last seen heading northbound.
Unit 12, acknowledging dispatch. Already in pursuit.
Hang on. That really looks cool.
Wait
Oh,
for it,
hate
Gareth. Gareth,
I fucking
wait
hate the fact that looks that cool.
I know. Wait for it.
Too.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah, that's so fucking cool. It's that bit. It's that fucking bit.
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand.
And that.
Ready? Because there's no going back.
That bit where the fucking pit comes out the bowl. Oh, that is so fucking cool. I saw they put that little bit out, right? They basically had the bike. They did like the trailer for the trailer, right? And then the orange comes out of it, and that's all you saw. And I just went like that. My fucking eyes just lit up. As like, and then I saw the trailer and went, oh, that is so fun. And I already knew it was going to cut the police car, but it was obvious that's what it was going to do.
Do you know that's the one thing that they did in the 2009 film, which I felt that they should have investigated just a little bit more, yeah? The OS for Tron, yeah, the first film, and in the 2009 system is old and out of date. I really thought they're going to jump to another fucking server and come across something a bit more updated. But the bikes driving down the street is just cool. It doesn't even need the light ribbon behind it. It looked cool because it looked real. I don't know how real it was.
It is real.
That might be why I liked it more.
There's a scene of them. Somebody filmed them shooting them going through, and that is genuinely them. I'm actually look. I know it's Disney, but that trailer works. Yes, and I'm gonna yes, I know.
But... Yeah, that's the bit I'm going.
Yeah, and it could be, but fuck me, Jeff Bridges' light cycles, in like sort of like live action light cycles going down the street. That was fucking cool. I'm sorry, but it was fucking cool. It was genius to do it in red, right? And they just looked fucking great. That trailer was a damn good trailer. That is a bloody good trailer. Film might be shit.
Yeah, the trailer
was good.
Okay, yeah, I will give you that. It's so weird when you because you can like the Prometheus trailer, fucking brilliant trailer. Film, everyone's on the fence about whether they like it or not, but the trailer was fucking brilliant. So I will give that's a good trailer. That's got me excited for something. It hasn't told me too much apart from they've got into the real world. You got to see the light cycles, the fly bits, and the recognizer in it, which is quite interesting. Yes, we've got another bit to watch. This is I hope this is the one you've been talking about because I haven't seen this either.
I think
So,
it
yeah.
is at that length. I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll have to do
If
a
it
pause.
starts off in the Arctic, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crypto. Take me home. Home.
Is this it, Keith?
No, there's more. Carry on.
Okay.
Crypto. Home.
I never liked the Superman robots.
No,
I
no.
always liked the idea of the Fortress of Solitude being, you know, no one in it because it's the Fortress of Solitude. Just saying.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever, merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
I do kind of like the 50s retro
Damage.
look, but I do like the kind of retro look to it, but
Yeah.
it's nearly done.
2. Bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Level 4?
292 times Saharan Prime, please, one.
He's back.
Okay. Right. Okay. James Gunn needs someone to sit next to him and go fucking cut some shit out. Yeah, the bit where the dog starts jumping over him and biting him and this, that, and the other, it made the dog look cute to being a bit of a dick. Which is, if what he should have done is the dog should have jumped on him and hurt him. He should have then gone, take me home, and then have him take it home. Because dogs, you know what dogs are like, they just leap at you. But it just got to a point where it's just a bit too much, if that made any sense.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable because, I mean, I had a dog that did that, right? But you scream out like that twice, the dog would stop. The dog would stop. That went on a little bit too much, and I was a bit uncomfortable about that. I did like the retro look of the robots, but I get what you mean about it being the
Fortress Solitude.
Solitude. I like the fact that it uses the Richard Donner music, and I like it kind of borrows some of the aesthetics from the Richard Donner movies. I'm wondering if they're going to, do what's his face's kind of a CGI version of him as his dad. There are things that I like about it. There are things that I don't like. But I like that they're doing something different with Superman. I like the fact that Superman seems to be slightly vulnerable. I think Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is going to be interesting. But there seems to be a lot going on in there. And that does cause me concern.
Bit too much, not enough space for Superman, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I've heard some people watch it and they've turned around and said it feels like it's the third movie along. Because it just takes you kind of straight into it, which is maybe not a bad thing. But
what else do you do? I mean, the latest version of Spider-Man did that. You know, they didn't give Spider-Man the origin, and then they went they cut out Uncle What's His Face and used her instead as his kind of
surprise woman.
Yeah, but it kind of works in Spider-Man 3. So I don't think we need another Superman origin story. We've had it enough. We've had the origin numerous times, so I'm not sure about that.
I think that what they can do is just before the movie starts, just have Superman or Clark just quickly tell them what happened and what got us here. It goes, right, now you're up to speed, and then let's leave it at that. Yeah, that'll do. Because the thing that always bothered me about Superman is that Superman was borderline fucking indestructible.
Yes, I know.
Being indestructible, there's no peril. There's no peril, there's no tension. There's no tension, there's no story. Yeah, you can have conflict, but there's no peril in that conflict and it doesn't work in a superhero thing. I always thought it should have been the basic rule is that if you're at Superman's level, you can kill Superman with your bare hands and vice versa. Yeah? So you can throw him through buildings and this, that, and the other, but when Superman hits you, it's like me hitting you, yeah? When Superman strangles you, it's like me strangling you. So whoever's on the same level in that. And then, for example, Doomsday would be like fighting a bear. Yeah? So it would be me and you trying to take on a bear, yeah? Because if you don't have any of those stakes, if there's no chance of death or failure, there's no story. And I think James Gunn is iterated that right at the beginning multiple bloody times. There's a chance that he can die, yeah. So there are stakes. So, but it's.
I think there are going to be people that are going to fucking hate this, right? There are going to be people that absolutely love it. I think you and I are going to be in the middle. I liked what James Gunn did with Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I was always a mainstream character like Superman. I don't think. Gunn wouldn't be my first choice for that. But they had to do something different. They had to take it away from the Henry Cavill's version. And I absolutely think Henry Cavill was a great Superman. I just don't think Zack Snyder got the character right either.
Zack Snyder can't do characters or storytelling.
It was always
visuals.
It was the bit in Batman versus Superman where he's in front of the sun and like it's all like, oh, we should praise him, and they made him too godlike, and that's what bothered me. I've always agreed with you about Superman for the most part. I've enjoyed probably Superman films more than you, but I agree with what you say about him. I did quite like the Lois and Clark TV series. I really did like that version of Superman. In fact, I think he's probably one of the best on-screen Supermans there's ever been, and I liked his Clark as well. I don't know about this guy, but from what I saw, he looked all right, and he looked the part. I think we're going to be in the middle on this film. I think we're going to say, I think there's going to be things that we're going to really enjoy about it, and I think there's things that we're not going to like about it. But they had to do something, and I'm not going to cast judgment until it came out. Were there things wrong with that? Yeah, and I'm glad that you said it about the dog, because I agree with you. But I kind of like the idea of doing crypto. Let's do something a bit zany. You need to do something with Superman. Is James Gunn the right choice? I'm not sure, but
that dog, those as in stuffed toys, is gonna fucking sell.
Of course,
we both know that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
feels so 80s, early 90s.
I'm not
when
going
they
to
throw the
fucking
cute
lie.
thing in there to do that.
If my buddy was still alive, I'd be going out and buying him one of those cloaks. I'd be running around with it. I did. I always used to call him. He was neither Marvel or DC because he walked around with a Captain America T-shirt and a Batman scarf.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve. But look, I'm going to go and see this. I think it could suffer from being over packed.
Yeah.
But look, they need to do something, and I'm not like, I'm really excited. I must admit, I like the Tron trailer far more. But there were things in this that I like. There were things in it I like, which is more than I can say for a lot of these bloody comic book movies these days. So, I'm prepared to give it the benefit of the doubt. So, one thing before we go onto Farpoint.
Daredevil first.
Yeah, I was going to say Daredevil. Yeah. What did you think?
I don't know where it's fucking going. I have no idea where it's fucking going.
Oh, it's going with Fisk.
Yeah, but that's not. We've been there like twice. The second time we went there with Fisk, yeah. The first time it was great because he was turning into the Kingpin. The third time you saw him just manipulate everyone around him and get exactly what he wanted, yeah, which was great. He went from a prison cell to a penthouse flat and having the police work for him, yeah, which was brilliant. It shows you the character, yeah. This Fisk doesn't seem to have that, yeah. He went to like some what's that, swanky do where he's trying to persuade all these people to give him money and this, that, and the other, yeah. And instead of them kowtowing to him, yeah, which they should have done, they should have just gone, yes, we'll do exactly what you want, Mr. Fisk, and then cuts to members of the family being kidnapped, things going missing, them coming up, the police coming, interrogating them for this, that, and the other. Instead of doing that, where you see the Kingpin weaving his web and causing light out of it, no, he just accepted it. What the fuck? This is the Kingpin you're talking about. The Kingpin of fucking crime. The guy who can fucking do the tail end run around everyone. Yeah? And you've got him so he can't do fuck all. Piss off. I'm watching this and I'm seeing the mayor, the newly elected mayor of New York, yeah, trying to get a project off the ground to redevelop some docks. And I'm hoping he can do it. Oh, yeah, and it happens to be a Daredevil TV show while we're at it. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing at the moment, yeah? And the thing where Fisk hears that Daredevil rescued Watson from Muse, yeah? He should have phoned Murdoch up. It should have ended with him saying, this is how it's going to be. Yeah? Or he should have gone to him and turned around and goes, you weren't supposed to do that. We had an agreement in place. He goes, yeah, but I found Muse. And I went, where did you find him? Yeah? Something along those lines. Something where he's Kingpin's not threatening. They've cut his balls off. And Daredevil's barely around. So they've cut his balls off too. And the worst thing is, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are doing everything they can with the material they've got to sell these characters to people. It's terrible.
You see, I think they should have scrapped the whole concept of the first season and gone... And this is the problem. You've got two different stories being merged into one, and it's a mess. I think season 2 of this, which is already shooting, will be much more coherent, much more what we are used to, much more. It'll go in the direction.
Keith, you've lost the audience. You've lost the audience is gone. They've watched the first couple of episodes and they've gone, nah, it's not me. I'm almost walking away. It's the only reason I'm doing it on the podcast so we can talk about it.
No, I agree.
I wouldn't be watching this otherwise. I agree
with you. I think they should have completely written off what they shot. Let go of I potentially sort of let staff go to another project while they recalculate what they were going to do, rewrite, and come up with a different story. And gone back to doing a more Netflix-esque, sequel. As it is, we've got these two worlds that have collided and it hasn't worked. It's got, and the people are lost. I think they're going to follow up very quickly with a season 2. And if I were them, I would be giving it to all the YouTubers and sending it to them and going, look, yep, season 1 was a bit of a mess because we had to redo it. We're being honest. Here's season 2. It's going to be much better. And I generally do think season 2 will be much better, but I don't think anyone's going to watch it. It's going to come out.
It's annoying because the other thing too with his wife, that bothers me. Yeah, because
she wasn't sending somebody to kill him. She told him that's what she'd done. She was helping him there because he was ready for it.
Yeah, I know. But it would have been good if between the two of them they're playing them, if you know what I mean, and you can see that's happening. They're playing between the two of them. They're playing a good game to get them under control, and she's on board with him because he's the fucking. I can't. Yeah.
But I mean. The trouble is, right, had he gone to prison and, okay, I mean, look, they did do the whole Echo thing and he got fucked up and everything. And yeah, they should never have brought Fisk back in that way. But because that's happened, you could argue that the wife liked the strong man and for a while he wasn't strong. And in the last couple of episodes, he's kind of arguably come back as the strong character that she knew. And therefore she's helping him. She was blatantly helping him. She told him he was coming, and that was why the lad was ready for him. But it's a fucking mess. I agree with you. There are little things that I like, but it is a mess. I want to see the Punisher back, but I think he's largely going to be back for season 2. But the fact that he's doing season 2, and the fact that he has come back and said he's doing it, makes me have hope because he loves the character of Punisher. John Berthner loves the character of Punisher and refused to come back because of what Disney had planned. The fact, and it wasn't because they chucked him a shitload of money at him. They brought back the guy that worked on the Punisher and Netflix series back, but they didn't do that. He's not had full control until season 2. So again, I think it is the way if I was Marvel right now and Disney, I would, say, yeah, look, season 1 was a bit of a mess, but maybe finish it off. I still think the next week's episode is going to end with Foggy being alive, right? And I think that's the thing that will get people watching. I think we'll get the Marvel stinger at the end that Foggy is alive. And Bullseye's still alive.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's what season 2 might be all about. And that would be quite a good intro. If Bullseye gets out, right, and he's got Foggy, and Foggy's still alive, but, Bullseye wants to fucking get Foggy and finish off the job, that could be an interesting dynamic. And Karen will be back. Now, we know both of them are back for season 2, right? We know the actor for Bullseye is coming back. We know that John Berthner is going to be in season 2 a lot more. I reckon season 2 should be what this is not. Right? Now, again, if I was them, I would put Foggy at the end of season 1. Then I would get those episodes shot, and I'd do what Picard season 3 did. Send it to all the people that have been the biggest fucking anti-guys out there and say, look, if it's, and if those guys say it's good, you'll get them back. You will. You will.
Yeah, but
I could be wrong.
Do that.
I'm not saying I'm right. But I am willing to put money that we're going to see Foggy alive at the end of this season, which I think is this week, because then we got a week's gap and then it's Andor, and I think we're getting 3 episodes of Andor each week, which is like fucking 3 hours. So, but I've got to admit, the trailer, it might not be, but the trailer for Andor looks good.
Apart from the choice of music, not very fucking Star Wars, if I remember correctly.
One of those trailers. The next trailer was much better. So and they're hinting at Vader. And I reckon we will get Vader in Andor. But anyway, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, by the way. So I hear you. I'm going to watch it to the end, but I would like to think I'm right that that's where Foggy's going. But I've been saying this since episode 1. So if I'm wrong, it'll be like, God damn it.
All right, let's talk about something a bit more fun. I watched Star Trek TNG Counter at Farpoint episodes 1 and 2, and your camera's run out of battery, Keith.
Which means my camera's not plugged in. Shit. Okay, sorry.
I'll give him a moment while he sorts it out. So, Encounter at Farpoint, bloody hell. This has made me feel really old. I could see some miniature work, shall we say, in this for Farpoint Station. So, yeah, it was... when was it? 87? September 28th, 1987, episodes 1 and 2. And I'll be honest with you, I had trouble remembering this. It was written by DC Fontana and Gene Roddenberry. And it was introducing the new Star Trek crew, comprising of a bald-headed French captain who was incredibly English. His lovable first officer, Denise Crosby, who's got nothing to do with Bing Crosby. The counselor, who I'm assuming is because at that point in time everyone had a fucking therapist in Hollywood, is the way she was there. Geordie, the blind engineer. It sounds funny when you say he's the blind engineer. Cole Meany, who eventually gets into Deep Space Nine, but gets demoted if you notice, because he was a bridge officer, and then he gets sent to the fucking transporter room.
There was a lot in this, right? Because they mentioned the Ferengi, but the original concept of the Ferengi was that they eat people, and they say that there's a line where they ate him. In this, what I loved watching it today. I've forgotten, and I thought, when I finished watching it, I think, oh shit, I've become my father. My dad used to bang on about how great the classic Trek was, the classic Trek was, and I always thought it looked dated and old. I watched this today and I thought, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it is remastered on Netflix, and I got to say, wow. I mean, it looks good.
I watched the remastered version on Paramount.
I watched it on Netflix in beautiful 4K, not in widescreen, which was weird, but it looked good.
I didn't have it in widescreen either, and it was just really. I'm so used to having things in widescreen. I'm a spoiled brat when it comes to that shit.
What I realised was that actually, it was very like the original TNG series, right?
I mean the original series, not
the original series where they play the Star Trek theme every few seconds, which they used to do in that, and you'd get that, and it felt like the original series.
Yeah,
far more than it does in later seasons. They changed it up an awful lot after season 1, but I didn't mind it in this, and I'd have forgotten the story. It's a great story. It's a great story. Q's great. I mean, you almost jump too quickly into Q, and there's bits where I'd remembered. But they were from the final episode that are not in this, and I forgot that. I got confused with it. I thought it starts with the ship in space dock. It doesn't. It starts with the ship coming down. And I really enjoyed it, and it's a good one. And I always thought this one, when I started watching Next Gen, I was about 10 or 11. And I always thought the Farpoint was the weakest story, and it looked a bit crap because they were using miniatures, which is, again, they don't do miniatures that much or miniature like they did in this, much beyond the first season, and of course a lot of this is going to look exactly like the original series, because the original series used miniatures and they use sets, which they do in later, but usually the sets are like, under caves and things and not planets. But the first season was always a bit like the original series, because this was the one that Roddenberry produced, so he just produced it like the original series. But then when I sat back and thought, how old is this? And then I did the calculation, and went, fucking hell, it's 38 years old. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you did, but I definitely enjoyed it. The bit that I found hilarious, which it wasn't intentional, was Deanna Troi behaving like the woman in Team America. Yeah. I sensed that it's angry. It's like, I can fucking tell that, and I'm not even empathic.
But
again,
they changed her up. They got rid of Tasha Yar because these are all criticisms of it. I think I loved it because I was feeling nostalgic about it. And I was pleasantly surprised about how much I enjoyed it. I remember DeFoss Kelly as McCoy being in it, but I've forgotten how great his part was.
Oh, he gives them the blessing pretty much at the end, where it's like, kind of treat her like a lady and she'll always take you home.
Yeah,
I love that. That was like the Pope turning up and blessing this TV series. Yeah.
It was a pretty good first episode for a show. I understand why they made a lot of the changes. I do, and I was remembering that, and why they made Geordie chief and things like that, and making Worf chief of security make much more sense than Tasha Yar. I understand why they did what they did with it, but actually, I thought I was going to find Farpoint a bit of a slog. And I was pleasantly surprised that it was a nice 90 minutes. It made me feel nostalgic. It looked good. I had never watched Farpoint. I haven't seen Farpoint since it was on a video, and it was really sort of like, really low res and everything. They have done fucking wonders with it. It looks great.
I haven't seen it since it was on BBC Two in 1988 when it was aired. And it was
great.
It's strange how much I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten so much of that. I remember the trial with Q. I remember the two guys, Tasha Yar and the bridge guy, getting frozen. I remember the how Q's uniform kept on going up through the eras until he finally got to caught up with them. I barely remember the what you call it, the jellyfish.
Yeah. I remember that.
I barely remember the jellyfish on it. I do remember the net. I do remember the whistling thing with Riker, and I do remember Wesley, which I really don't fucking like. Dude, he was annoying back then.
Yeah.
I think the reason I think I hated it is because of two things. It was Battlestar Galactica season 2, where they had the kid who was supposed to be the evolved human. If you remember that, and I couldn't fucking stand that, and I couldn't stand the kids that were supposed to be the evolved ones. They just didn't. I'm not interested as a kid. I'm not interested in Kid. I was interested in like fucking Starbuck and Apollo, or John Crichton's dad. I can't remember the character's name in the second series in the Cylons more than them. And I think I'd never liked the idea of the boy genius. The only time I think it's worked for me, and I didn't even like it in the original Lost in Space, is in the new Lost in Space. But he wasn't a boy genius in that. He was just a kid that could talk to the fucking robot, which I appreciated a downside more. And the fact that it was a kind of family dynamic in there. But yeah, Wesley, is to fucking get rid of him as soon as possible.
Well, they did. Although it kept a few seasons, but they did sort of, get rid of him, bring him back, and then get rid of him. Although, God, it's going to pain me. He was quite fucking good in the Voyager cartoon. He was actually quite good in that.
You've had a head injury, Keith. All right?
You haven't watched it. But I'm a Voyager fan. Oh my fucking it is plugged in. It's just lost charge.
Okay.
So it will come back, but
it's funny. I just found some notes here. Q was added in after they filmed the pilot, but they wanted a 2-hour pilot, So Gene Roddenberry, and that's why it's an and with an ampersand, Gene Roddenberry, because DC Fontana wrote the first episode, added the Q subplot in there to make it work.
Yep.
So yeah,
it was great. But I can't believe, because I thought there was one in season 2, a 2-parter, but there isn't. The next 2-parter is the final episode of season 3, and so yeah, we're going to get Best of Both Worlds. Now we could watch the pre episode that introduces the Borg. Yeah.
we can do Q-Who.
And then we'll watch Best of Both Worlds, because I think you've got to see that episode to really appreciate Best of Both Worlds.
I part of me is an because there's another 2-parter with the Borg later on down the line.
Yes.
With a rather irritating Borg that I don't like.
Yes.
And the spatial corridors that they use, the little slipstream corridors for traveling great distances, cool. Everything else I didn't like. So when we get to that one, I'm going to be like, why did you stick straws in Geordie's head? That's how much I remember of that one. But yeah, it's gonna be good, because we'll do Q-Who and we'll do Best of Both Worlds, because there isn't a 2-parter. I thought they were all 2-parters towards the end of the season, but maybe that was something that happened after season 3 onwards.
Yeah, basically. But look, I'm liking this next gen thing. Let's carry on with it. We'll do the first Borg episode next week, which I think is Q-Who. I'll confirm it, and we'll do that for next week. It'll be a single episode, but if you've never seen the remastered next gen, it's on Netflix and apparently Paramount. It's worth it. Farpoint looked gorgeous. It really did. I was quite impressed with it, and it made me feel nostalgic, and I enjoyed it. So thank you. It was a great idea to do this. I had a nice Sunday sort of afternoon watching it.
Yes.
So yeah.
And then when we're done with this, we can then move on to Deep Space Nine, and then on to Voyager. Yes. And then Enterprise, and then that's it. Star Trek TV series ends after Enterprise, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, yeah, I don't know. There's never. Well, I mean, technically, Picard season 3 was a entire story. Picard season 3 was good, but
I know it was, but we've already covered it, so we don't need to.
Yes, it's fine. I agree with you. Anyway, say goodbye to the boys and girls, because we got to go now.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
For watching. Hang on a second. What do you call it? Look, now that Chuck can't see you. It's giving you a compliment.
It's because I was rewiring my desk and the plug because this is constantly plugged in, and it wasn't plugged in, so that battery's gone an hour and 20 minutes, which is pretty good. Because it's the lesser battery than the one that you've got in that fancy new bloody camera that you've got there. Chuck,
my camera's sitting somewhere else. Back in England. Back in Blighty.
Is there enough charge in it now to stick my tongue out on you? Yeah, there is. Yeah, hang on. I'll be back in a minute. I'll go again in a second. Anyway, I can wave. Bye, Laurie. Bye, Tanith. Bye, Steve. Bye, How to Be a Stupid Gamer. Bye, Biffa. Bye, Chuck. Bye, everyone. See, there you go.
See ya.